Hey guys, how's it going? So, another week, another mobile suit, and this time we have the Sazabi. It is now in the game, so here is the figure that I have of this one, and again, is it better than the new? Yeah, I have to say, it is better than the new, but is it really 4-star material still, and is it really what we'd expect for a baseline 700? Well, I do want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Whether this is, better than the new. What's your experience with it? Especially anybody who's also like me and has some new bias in there. Do you think the new is better because you've been just playing a ton of it? Or do you wish the new got buffed? Well, I think both of them should get buffed because, again, is this really a 4-star? Did we really need 4-star to be introduced with these two suits? And what were they doing? I'll give my opinion here a little bit later after we talk about the suit itself. But let's go ahead and get into the Sazabi itself. It is, of course, ground, space specialization. It has melee priority 2, just like the new, which is one of my issues with it around the 4-star thing. But let's go ahead and look at what it does here in the video. So its main weapons are the big, long beam saber like this, and the beam rifle here. It is a shotgun if you just fire it normally. Luckily, not that long range. And then the charged up fire is the stun. So that's really nice. But luckily, it doesn't have crazy long range when it's doing that. And this, though, is kind of the big thing that makes it better at just shooting, I would say, than the new. Other than the funnels being a little bit better. But we'll get to those in a second. The gut beam, that is just ridiculous. It has crazy damage. It's a shotgun. I thought it might stun as well, just normally, so you could combo it. But it just seems like where it shoots twice, if they already started moving, then you just hit their build-up stagger pretty much instantly if you time it right, since it, again, shoots 2 pulses. Which you could technically animation cancel and go ahead and swap back to the other shotgun, doing another shotgun. Since neither of them overheat with one shot, you technically could get 4 shotguns out of this, maybe even 5 if you time some things right in a relatively short amount of time. The main thing with it only having shotguns and then its shield missiles being build-up stagger as well is it doesn't have really any instant stun kind of mechanics that it can do other than the beam rifle, and that's a 2-second charge, luckily. Now, I will say the charge stun is better than the news, but at least the news has the shield beam, although very awkward to fire. You do have that shield beam that you can just pull up and shoot really fast, actually. I normally miss the second stun because of how fast it readies up. Now, with the Sazabi, though, the damage is kind of the big thing here. We thought it would be more aggressive and that it could have more damage than the new, and yes, as far as even having 10 less on its range modifier and having 10 more on the melee, they pretty much swapped those two stats. It just has a ton of range damage just by default. And since it has heavy beam and melee defenses, you do have low ballistic, but you can just focus on putting ballistic defense in, making up for that. And I think I'm at 44, 48, and 49 total now, whereas they both have 20,000 health, which, again, still feels a little low for 700 cost, and these two suits. Now, again, you can pretty much max out most of the defenses and get real close to that. They do have great damage. So, I don't know. I feel like I would have probably thought that these would have 22,000 at least health. Maybe even 24 for them being 700 and 4-star. But defense-wise, Sazabi definitely has that. And has the range damage. Because right before this, it showed the funnels. The follow funnels do a decent amount of damage. I would say better than the Vulcans, although a little bit harder to hit, of course. But I'm glad the new Vulcans actually hit with a good amount of damage. And then the side funnels actually shoot a 3rd time. Now, as doing more damage, I would say most likely, I can't remember the exact damage numbers, although I could just go into the game and compare right now real quick. Let's go ahead and just do that since I've got the game up. The follow funnels, or the side funnels rather, are doing 300 per, and the funnels for the new are doing 350. But you get to fire a 3rd time rather than just twice. So overall, yes, you do more damage with the side funnels. You do more damage with the follow funnels compared to the Vulcans, which would be what I would compare them to. And you do more damage with the shotgun beam and just the normal beam, where the shield is about the same. Although with what's been pointed out here, I wouldn't be surprised if the shield did more damage. I'm actually going to go take a look at that. Let's see here. Again, I feel like they have a lot of sharp bias. Now, this is 850 with only 3 missiles, so I think you got to have all 4 to stun on the new, where it has 650. So pretty close, actually. And you have to hit a 4th missile on the new. I will say I feel like it's a bit easier to hit those missiles. I don't know what it was with the Sazabi, that I just keep missing the missiles horribly. But again, the news shield angle is also really weird, so maybe I just started getting used to it and could hit more of the missiles, whereas I had to get the insta-stun with the shield beam itself. Other than that, it does have 2 melee weapons. It has the big sword, which has insane reach. I mean, like, I downswung as to not hit Emblem in the customs yesterday, and I hit Emblem, and he was like standing back too. Like I think he followed up, or he was backing off from his follow-up, one or the other, and I was the one following up, and I was like, okay, I'm far enough back. So I thought I hit the target with just the tip's tip, and I hit Emblem still. So yeah, it has crazy range with its main weapon. And even with the secondaries, it kind of does a lunge forward with its single hit swing, and of course it has a good double hit downswing doing decent damage. Now, to kind of, talk about the damage that it can do with its melee, I almost killed a support just by meleeing it. So I hit them with the neutral and downswing of the double sabers, then neutral downswing of the big saber, and then I went to hit them with the neutral of the double sabers, and I missed because I was a little bit up a heel, so oops. But I would have killed them with that hit, and that's a support. So this thing does crazy damage. And at this point, it makes me question why even you would take a raid, because also you can just shotgun, so anything that has any of the things like a Zommel or a Faz, or even a Gamok when it gets really low, there's not really much reason to take anything like that in to 650 with this out there, because you could just shotgun it. I mean, even the new had a lot of build-up staggers that it could easily take advantage of. So yeah, Sazabi really gross for just taking out anything like that, and a crazy range with that beam saber, crazy damage with all of it. And then you have this when you're really low. If you get lucky enough to get that off, then that is a gross amount of damage. With my build that I have, I'm up to like, I think 49 melee modifier for the damage. So yeah, really gross suit. Overall, just lots of damage everywhere. Now, skills. What does it have for skills? It does have Force Injector 3 instead of the Evasion System 3, which I will give that in favor of the new. Now, of course, it does have maneuver armor, so you can take advantage of that just all the time, whereas the new has its shield. Now, a lot of people don't use the Pyramid Shield as maneuver armor, but in my opinion, it's about the only way you can really use it as maneuver armor. Now, not reactive maneuver armor, but preemptive maneuver armor. So you're about to go in, you pop the shield, you go. Whereas, that's, I guess, one of my big complaints is I wish that the shield could be used as a reactionary thing rather than preemptive or kind of a planned thing beforehand. Since it actually is ticking down after you use it, it feels like sometimes it's a waste. Now, I have gotten some clutch moments with it, as I said in the other thing, but after, seeing this now and kind of fighting other news, I'm just like, well, I could just pop that because this thing has gross damage. Also, that gut beam, you can break it with the first hit, and then you just hit them and stun them with the second hit. So, whoops. So there's that too, which is just kind of weird. And then the skills other than that has, of course, maneuver armor, Force Injector 3, which I don't know how much that really helps. It does feel like I can boost all the time though, especially when I'm gliding through the air. But it only has 1 dodge roll, which is very nice. That's why I would kind of give that skill defense win to the new itself, having its Pyramid Shield and being able to dodge twice. And only being able to dodge twice if you can do enough in between, dodging again, and then do enough in between and dodge again kind of situation. I'm definitely wanting to play around with having some of the cooldown parts for your thruster that isn't overheated, and see what I can do with the new in that regard. I think that could be really cool to try to take advantage of. And overall, the Saikamu system thing, you know, as far as movement and stuff, feels about the same as the new. You do have more fast movement than the new, but you have less base speed than the new. But I think it all balances out once the Saikamu thing hits, essentially. So as far as that goes, about the same. And of course, you have all the bloat of the cushion and everything else. But again, it does have the maneuver stuff, like the raid with or rather it's the, when you clash, you can go ahead and react before somebody else. So you do get that, which is kind of cool. So again, this thing feels a very raid-only general kind of situation. So I don't know what we'll see for a raid at 700, but literally this might be a situation between the new and the Sazabi. Like with the Mark II or the Qubeley, you're not going to want to run a raid at all for the longest time until they put something in there good enough. So we'll have to see what comes next week. Either support or raid better be something big for 700 cost that can actually really stay in there. Now, do I think you still need to support? Yes, I would say probably the Hyakushiki Kai is going to be your best bet, if anything. But other than that, as much as I love the mass production Qubeley, I don't think it can really do too much. But since you're going to get stunned anyway, might as well have something that's just going to get stunned and do crazy damage. So if they put in the mass production Qubeley 700, unless it's already in and I'm crazy, yeah, as soon as that hits, probably go for that. Might even not be too bad of an idea to try to roll on whatever banner that is if you're a support player and saving tokens. Luckily, I got some decent amount of tokens, so I'm definitely going to be trying to hit whatever support they get, because these suits are terrifying just in general, and now this one is more terrifying. And again, that's from support. You will be able to do damage to both of these suits. Again, I think their health is a little bit low, but overall they can deal damage to you, which is kind of my point, where I feel like that shouldn't be the easiest thing for a general to do, is delete a support right out, which the Sazabi can do. The new, not as much, but still does crazy damage to anything that it's shooting at. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Do I think this is a 4-star though? No. Yes, I just kind of sung the praises of both being a little bit higher than other things at 700 currently, but overall, I don't know if that warrants a 4-star. At 4-star, this thing should have at least 25,000 health and probably do a little bit more damage than what it does. Yes, that sounds OP, but I don't know. I feel like the 4-star thing should be this absurd thing, and they should just make a new category at 700 cost. And, you know, honestly, that does sound like it would turn into pay to win. And yeah, that would be right. It would, for 700. But the rest of the game, I could pretty much say that it wouldn't be it for that. So, I don't know. They're trying to get people to well on it anyway. If they're trying to get people to well on it anyway, might as well just, you know, make it, I don't know, something different. It's a gacha game. It sucks because of that. I'm not going to get into that rant. But the thing is, at this point, I'd like to see 700 calls be its own category of something by now. I mean, you know, we're not going to see 700 every day or every 2 hours. Also, by the way, what's with the ace matches showing up? I guess it's because of the thing with the favorite suit. But anyway, again, would like to just see kind of the dudes. If they're going to make a big deal with the 4-star, make them a big deal. But that's my take on it. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about this and the new and how it compares. And what do you think? 4-star? Has this been justified with them too? And do you think they should stay where they're at? Or do you think they should have been stronger and then either bring everything else up, or just have this be the new baseline of what 700 is, and everything else was just kind of a placeholder for people wanting to be able to play 700 games? Now, again, yesterday I heard some things about, you know, wouldn't that be a little unfair to people spinning on the step-up banners? And I've been saying they were baits anyway, but it would kind of suck a little bit that anybody who went ham on the step-up banners kind of got shafted, you know, not being able to play their suits when these two came out. But I already honestly feel like that's the same way with the EXS. I feel like the suit's trash compared to these, and just pretty much anything else other than maybe the Hyakushiki Kai that exists. And maybe the space supports as well are pretty good. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough about the Sazabi and all that tangent. Let's move on to the rest of it. we don't have too much to go through other than talking about another piece coming with Sazabi. But here's the normal suit for Char. Pretty cool. Again, them showing a little bit Char bias, I think, with this suit. I'm going to complain about that one last time. But moving on, there was a bug here or something with the values needed for getting assist score. They changed that, so there was either something displaying incorrectly, but it dealt with the badge challenge stuff. So from what I understand, it was nothing other than just the favorite suit system that was really affected. But there you go, assist score and the badge system. Now, they do have a step up, which actually has 2 half-off spins, which is really cool. So the first and the fourth step is half off, with the fourth one having a 2 times of 4-star materials. And then we have the Sazabi guaranteed at step 7, as well as a new part. And that new part is the big deal here. Other than that, it's exactly the same as the last step up. The new part, though, gives 25% reduced lock-on time and 3% reduced damage to unit HP, as well as the turn rate going up by 3. So the HP is a pretty big deal. Getting reduced damage is always nice, just flat reduction. And having the reduced lock-on time is a pretty big deal as well. Now, I think there's definitely suits that have higher lock-on times that definitely could use this. And, you know, those would definitely feel it a lot more than a couple of them. I know a lot of people were talking about the mass production Qubeley. I am definitely going to test this out as soon as possible. I do have an alt that has enough for this, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go all the way on the alt before I do that on my main account, just to try it out. And if it feels good enough, then we'll see. But overall, I don't think there's going to be that many suits that will have to run this. I believe the parts were 2, 2, and 3, I think. Something like that. Definitely we'll have to check. Actually, it should be in the game now, speaking of having the game up. But yeah, overall, there are definitely some winners like the Bishop probably, or the Saikamu Zaku for its lock-on times, and or the Zeong in my case, which is probably what I would go for personally, getting that part over anything else. Oh, actually it is locked now and showing as something I can't look at apparently. That is a little weird. Okay, well, cannot see it in the game. But yeah, the Saikamu part though, again, giving the 25% lock-on, decent deal. The EXS, I think, is one that can benefit from this pretty highly. And anytime when you have a moment to where you think, I wish I could have locked on faster, is probably when this part would have felt really good. So if you have had that in the past with any weapons that have lock-on like the Qubeley or whatever, then you might want to think about getting this part. Overall, like the rear funnels that get a stun from the mass production the Qubeley or the Mark II Qubeley, or even the Zeong, those I think lock on fast enough that this really won't make much of a difference and you won't really feel it. But the side funnels or anything like that definitely are going to feel a lot better. So I'm going to try it out. If you want to hear me talk about it, I'll probably talk about it in the next one or on the podcast tonight, because I'm definitely going to get that before then and try it. But yeah, we'll see how that feels and talk about it then. And I'll try to talk about it in the next update video if I can remember to, or just come by the stream and ask me how it felt to try it on my alt. Then we move on into GBO Days. GBO Days now will be in boxes each day and should be all mobile suits, which is very nice, with the last one being a 3-star suit. And so today is going to be day 2 coming up. So when that reset hits, it'll be another 10, and it's going on for the other 2 days in the GBO Days set. So get out there, get your 40 free boxes this weekend, essentially. Well, yesterday, today, and the next 2 days. And then we have the other free 10, of course, for this being week number 2. So that was really nice for getting tickets and stuff, getting closer to that platinum medal. Other than that, though, we have, of course, we talked about that. In the ticket shop, we got the Qubeley now. Again, we're a year behind, so the Qubeley came out last year at this point. The GM Cannon 2 is level 3 is in the ticket shop, and the GM Custom level 3 is in the ticket shop as well. Now, I do think the GM Cannon 2 does start falling off now at this point, but it is definitely still a solid suit at 400 and 450, and I think the 400 might be in the EP store if you want to try that out. Again, I don't know the rank required for it, so if you're newer to the game or just haven't got to like Ensign yet, which seems to be anything 3-star, and I want to recall that the GM Cannon 2 is a 3-star. Now, I could be crazy, but yeah, definitely a suit that works earlier on. I wouldn't say now, and same with the GM Custom for sure. Now, the Qubeley though is fantastic. If you don't have it, it's a great suit. It still works really well, and yeah, can recommend. It was definitely way better than the Double Zeta when it released, and I really wanted it then, and I'm glad I got it eventually after either right after the event or near the end of the anniversary. But yeah, Qubeley, great suit, still does really good work. There are people that still just have played the Qubeley at 650 and that's been it. So yeah, Qubeley, can recommend, go get it. It is insane. Unlike last week where Double Zeta don't do it, because it kind of sucks still, even though it's been buffed like 2 times. It still needs a buff. But the Qubeley, fantastic. It's amazing. They actually nerfed it. It was so good. Although, I could say that they could buff it now to have the shoulder buffer back on, and it probably wouldn't affect it too much. But yeah. We've just had a little bit of power creep. And, I mean, I don't know. I played the MLRS and went bullied anyway, so no big deal. It mainly had beam resistance was its main thing. Anyway, moving on to the symbols here that they have, and the DP store with the Hyaku Shiki. Decent raid. It's been buffed finally now to where it's really good. Go check it out if you have the rank to buy it. And if you want to have some fun and be an angry elephant toddler, there's Aug level 4. Moving on though into the clan rank. Oh, well, right before that, right here, the Night Seeker 2. Okay, on the Japanese one it said the Night Seeker, and the Gun Cannon 2 didn't get the space buffs back when the space buffs happened. So there is that. So whoops. And if you still need to get the clan suit this Saturday, it's going to be an early morning one again. 700 cross 5v5 basic Arctic base. And then next week on the 15th, oh, sorry, that'll be the 14th for us, because that'll be the late night one, 250 4v4 simple battle resource satellite. It is in space, but that means there's a good chance you can get the new suit, because that should be top 100, I think. Wait, 69, what is that? That is 68th. Okay, so top 40 on those. So yeah, good luck, get out there, try for that suit, especially next week. This week again being 700, there's going to be a lot of Sazabis all over the place. That's going to be a gross Arctic base. I'm actually really curious to see if we see any raids from higher rated team or higher ranked teams, and if we see any of the like news, or will we see supports even. So that's going to be a big deal, especially in Arctic base with how small it is. I'm really just expecting nothing but Sazabis and news, and that's about it. But really curious to see what happens with the top 3 rated teams or ranked teams. And, you know, good luck getting the GM Simi Striker. It is pretty cool. It does have the Striker things going on, and it feels like it has some of the fixes that the normal Striker does. It is 400 cost though, so it is a bit higher. So hopefully, you know, at that point you would hope they put on some kind of instant stun. And then next week, remember we got the 400, what is it, the Slave Wraith full armor coming out. So that'd be really cool when that hits. That'll just be the next mission suit. And speaking of missions, the clan mission though, we did get the new clan mission to where you have to play with your clanmates during this week. That is the new one that just took over the spot of play games, which I was hoping they would add a clan mission thing so we could get like a 4th one every week or something. But no, it's just going to be in this rotation and replacing the easy one with one that means you got to actually get together and play with people, which again, if you're doing clan ranked, that's probably enough to max it out. Literally that at 2 hours, so nothing too big there, because you should be getting at least 4 if it's a late night one. So that's pretty easy for a game, no big deal. Then they have this symbol, which will be for the top 100. It's a water symbol, which is kind of cool looking. After that, the 4v4 one will be all participants. So, looking forward to seeing what that is. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. What do you think about this new part? Have you got it? Do you think it's worth it? Again, is 4-star really needed to be a thing? And is the Sazabi better than the new? Worse? What's your take on it? As well as, you know, have you tried the Qubeley and got that if you get that out of the ticket shop? But yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. But that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace!